Hey everybody, Karen and I are coming back to you with another coaching practice series workshop. This upcoming one is Intentional Pause, happening on February 19th at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Karen, do you want to tell us what we're in for?
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about this in our other workshops that there's a rhythm to a coaching conversation. And we're bringing the practice of intentional pause into this workshop because it's an integral part of the flow of a coaching conversation. So we'll introduce you to some intentional pause approaches. You'll get a chance to practice. And the goal is that you can walk away with a process, an intentional pause practice that really works for you.
Cool. So if you're interested and want to sign up, there'll be a QR code on screen, or you can send me a direct message or an email, and I'll make sure you get the registration information. All right, hope to see you there. Take care.
Take care.
Oops. Okay, so you know how when you get like you're on a website or whatever and they want to drive you to the thing, they always give you the button that's like the colorful one, and the one that you like, the close button, is like a grayed out thing. So I didn't mean to play that. I followed the, because that's the prompt and it comes up and I click and I'm good. I didn't need to play that today. I'm sorry. Unless you want to come, you can sign up in the next 2 hours and come to our workshop if you want. But I didn't mean to play that. Oops. Buttons. Still learning. Still learning. Oh, how you doing today, Karen?
I'm a little tired today. I decided to have a cold. Glenn's had a cold for 2 weeks. I had thought I had sidestepped it, but it crashed on me. But
I didn't know you got a choice.
well, well, obviously, I think my body's probably a little tired these days, anyways, and it forced me to be at home. And what it's really done is allowed me to have some internal pause. Interesting that you said that may not be what we needed to see this morning, but it really resonated that I needed an intentional pause,
Hmm,
just reset inside, just to give myself some room.
good.
How about you?
It's been a lot going on. Maybe a little too much. The thing is, when I have a little bit too much going on, I have a lot too much going on. So there's the physical, outwardly stuff that needs to happen and whatever, but then there's the constant churn of what happens inside here that is probably even more exhausting than the external.
Mm,
So I appreciate these moments because I get to settle, and I don't feel like I settle until I'm in it.
mm.
So it's like, okay, I got to get it up. I got the thing. Do I have my little show notes? Do I have, like, what am I going to do? Like, I've got all that. And then it's just like, okay, it's go time. So we're here. And then you ask me, Ian, how about you? Let's check in for you. I haven't even thought about it. I have no, yeah, it's just, I haven't been taking the time that I normally, or that I would like to take. I'm not even sure normal is the right word, but when I'm intentional about taking that break, to take the pause, to take the moment to slow down and breathe, that's when I settle. That's when I settle. So, what do we have in store today? Did you like my thumbnail?
Your thumbnail. There
Oh,
you go.
so you don't see them. Oh, okay. So I've been generating like a thumbnail. So when we do a live like today, so AI, the death of connection, I create a, it's like a placeholder that, and it's a little image that, so if you went to our live section on Coaching Coffee and Conversations, you would see there's a show that's prepared. So 2 weeks ago we had the take the shot, and I made an image with you and I shooting. I had AI. It was like, had like a little a knife. It was in a graveyard over top of a coffin that said connection on it. I'm like, I'm proud of this.
No, it's awesome. I love, well, as we know in our coaching world, a visual or a metaphor really can be a way for us to free up ourselves from, the busyness. It kind of grounds us. So it's funny that we're grounding ourselves in a grave today.
That might be a little a bit of an extreme metaphor, but I think it's maybe not too off the mark as far as how AI is affecting our ability to communicate.
Yeah.
And maybe not AI specifically, social media, just the way that we interact with the world now, I think is a little different. And when social media or AI takes up so much of your attention, then I think we're atrophying, is that the right word? Are the muscles that we have for our communications. And I've got a couple of examples of like how things manifested in along this line this week for me. One's really simple. We went out to dinner for my daughter, and she got the wrong sauce with her chicken fingers, but she didn't want to put up her hand or go to the bar to ask for what she ordered. My son got up and did it for her because he likes to be like a helper. But it just got me thinking about, okay, well, what's that about? Like, why not want to raise your hand to, speak up for yourself or whatever? And actually, as I was preparing for today, and I threw my word vomit into AI to give me just to give me bullets of what I just said. And it came back with, oh, wow, this is really great, blah, blah, blah. And it mentioned the term social friction avoidance. And I thought that was really interesting, the whole idea of social friction, because we don't want to look like we're a pain. We don't want to avoid any discomfort in us by having to raise our hand, to go and do the thing, to ask for what you want. Sometimes that can feel a little awkward and maybe off-putting to yourself. So we avoid it.
Yeah, I was thinking of my kind of thinking for today isn't totally feeling like I'm a phony right now around AI because I know nothing about it. Resist it at all costs, if possible. Is that the discomfort? It's to be uncomfortable in not knowing or feeling awkward or having to go through that part of figuring it out on your own inside first. So for me, I feel that could be some atrophy around that being really important. I watched a movie, and it just I realized this morning it may be connected. The Sully, where the plane went in. This is a true story where it landed in the Hudson River, and Tom Hanks was the pilot. And when they talked about the simulator said he could have landed safely at one of the airports they were trying to direct him to. And as you know, this was a successful landing. No one died as a result of his decision that he made in the air. And near the very end, when, because there was lots of, fear, did I make a mistake? And lots of judgment going on, because AI, think about it, the simulators, all the stuff, the computers were telling him that he made an error because there's a lot of money that went into the Hudson River. And so, but then he said, talked about the human impact, the human side of this, and was able to get them to, add 35 seconds of what a human would have to do to make decision making. And when they added that into the simulation and they did the 2 landings, both of them crashed. Mm-hmm. So the importance of AI has, my concern is we will lose the ability to trust our instincts, our knowing, that moment where we just we know this is the right way, or these are the right words, or this is the right choice. And that struggle is really important. And as our comforts, I was thinking about my mom. I went all over the place, Ian. How they struggled in their time with, no running water. And we are a society that doesn't want to seem to struggle now, so AI is going to make things go faster and smarter and better. I worry we will lose that groundedness of now, what's showing up, manifestation together, like what you and I do, what I've done in this work, in partnerships of coaching, that it manifests all on its own without having to Google the answer.
and the thing is, I think that wobbliness that we're trying to avoid is where you learn. So that's why I think our work is so important, because we integrate experiential learning into it, right? So we put people in a place where they're going to try something out that's maybe new to them and that they're not comfortable or confident in yet. But it's in that kind of working it out and trying it on that you develop that muscle structure to be able to do the thing on your own. And if you always rely on something other than you to try to tell you the answer, that's what advice giving is, right? Like, tell me what to do. But now we have a system that will allow us to get the answer without having to even go to somebody else. We're asking for advice from a computer. What should I do? What should I do? So what are we learning?
Yeah, and for me, the creative side of our brains, the creativity, which is a lot of tension. When you and I pick a topic, we could easily go into AI. You know this. We could do it and do our little and like have it bounce it back out to us, and it might save us a ton of time. Let's just say it may just.
Yep.
But the creative tension. So not just when you're, doing individual coaching, when you're together, this multiplier effect of growth and development and knowing that comes out of the creative tension. The messy, this is so interesting how our series is, we're backtracking onto the messy. You can't skip messy. So importance of when I'm maybe 2-3 generations in years, decades ahead of you in my age. But what I know is generations are like, I was told when Jenna was going to university, she's going to be 38. When she was 19, that a generation was 4 years. I bet you it's a year now. There's change. So how many generations away am I from that? But, so I remember, not having accessibility to all of this. And I will tell you, there was a lot less pressure on me to go so fast and get it right. There was less of that. I didn't remember feeling any of that, actually. I still had pressure to get things done in time, but it wasn't like this rapid pace of, moving it and feeling like I got to get it done. I got to get it done. And I can be guilty of that. And I'm not enjoying the moment and the experience as a result of that. Like, I'm letting my life go by without experiencing it. And I'm still learning to not let that happen to me. I'm guilty of that. So speeding things up, which I think AI does, it just gets us through things quicker. It's efficient. It has benefits. Everything has a plus. But the overusing of technology, you described something. What is it atrophying in our children, in each other, in humans' experience that we are longing for? We're hearing that this is the anxious generation. So there's something to pay attention to. I think that's it, to be mindful of, as we bring another piece of technology and way of being into the human spirit. I'm not going to say the human world, the human spirit.
I like that you just said that, because when you were talking about like our work together, and there's a bit of creative tension that has to happen for things to work out. Even if we go back to a couple episodes ago where we're talking about, we need a metaphor for this, and I floated it out there. You're like, I hate it. I don't want to use that. So, but we needed to go through that for us to find one that worked, and it ended up working once you were able to feel feel how the flow of it. Okay, maybe that does make sense, and maybe it is like an electrical circuit, whatever. But without that back and forth, without that kind of kind of a struggle between the two of us to figure out what was going to work, that's when I think this is what AI misses, is that soul, is the soul of it all. So yes, the information is there, but when you are connected to somebody else and you're trying to create something, there's some divine intervention that happens with that pinging back and forth that you get when you're collaborating, especially if you're collaborating and you're both in tune with the same thing. Then I think things really, really, really like can blossom, explode, whatever. But when it's just you and the machine, does the machine have access to that source? I don't think it does. I think it's just connected to a bunch of other information. So yes, it makes things faster, and yes, it might get you to a finish line, but is it the finish line that you need?
And it has the potential to isolate you, because it feels like you're connected to something. It comes back and it makes you feel good.
It always leads with, what a poignant observation. Like, well, of course it was poignant. It came from me.
Yeah. And I mean,
the flattery.
Yeah. And we are longing for affirmations, which again is, part of like your intentionality of how you show up. What does that person need to hear right now? They've picked that up pretty fast in AI, that, we need to feel good about what we do, which is a whole other conversation, maybe about feedback sometimes, about how it can, fuel relationships. So it's a kinesthetic connection. It's a emotional connection. It's a cognitive connection. It's a human spirit connection. That is so important. We long for that. And I've been alone this week. So yeah, I've been longing. Looking forward to talking to you this week and seeing your face. But it was, at the same time, my human spirit, I spent time with me and I engaged back into that. So yeah, I know the train has left the track. I get that AI is not going away. I think it will, in thinking about workplaces and, when the email came in with attachments, when I started working, I mean, I started when it was mail. You get a letter, you rip it open with a letter opener. That's my career started, right? That was the pace of information coming, telephone, no voicemail. So there was just, the pace was so different. And I just and when email came in and then attachments, we could put don't get megabyte, gigabyte, whatever the number is, larger and larger attachments started to be able to be attached to an email. The human being doesn't have that capacity to absorb all of that, doesn't change. But the system weighed everyone down. People couldn't keep up. And I would say probably today it's the same feeling. So we overuse things and we use it for the wrong thing. And we are in information overload. So if we can produce a document or something quicker, what's that going to do in the workplace? And how are conversations going to be impacted if AI brings it all to you and now you're looking at it and maybe you'd have a little thing where you talk about what you like about it, but you didn't co-create it together. You didn't struggle together. You didn't find your own words and language and relations to what you wanted to make happen as a team, as an organization. That's huge for me to think about, that being lessened in how we do conduct ourselves together at work and maybe even at home. But I really see the impact it could have in the workplace and job losses. We know that, because if AI takes our creativity away, you can do a room floor plan or have a draft document done. If it takes away all of that intellectual work we do, what's that mean to how we connect? Because I think what we're talking about is, how is that going to impact our worth, our feeling of worth and contribution and purpose? What's left?
It's interesting that you're thinking about this. But as you're talking, I've got an alternate thread, because I hear the closing down as you're speaking, right? Because we often talk about there's no positive or negative, there's open up and closes down.
Right.
So what does this open up potentially for us if it takes away our struggle with the work stuff? maybe it opens up more free time potentially to have more human connection. But will we take advantage of that? So again, that's why I think the work that we do is so important, because not only do we hear people before AI existed say, wow, this is great. I feel like I never learned this in school. Like, why don't we teach this stuff in school? And now we're encouraging kids in school to use AI to like problem solve. And then, so now not only do they not have the base that we had growing up, they now have less of a base. So it opens up a possibility for there to be lots of room for people to want this, but will they know they need it?
Yeah. What is its purpose? Like, where is the opening up, or what's it creating that's going to, I'm going to say, serve the human world? Where does it give us a sense that we can align ourselves to something more meaningful? There's the word. Mm-hmm. That where my contribution is really valued and needed and necessary. So I don't often see that that's thought through. That we love it because it gives it's cool. And it gives us relief, and it's useful. It helps you get things done quicker, maybe better, whatever the reasons why you use AI. But the other side is in service of what? What does it allow you to do more of and contribute to? That's really important. And how do you make sure that, I talk about this all the time in these times. I'm working on being way more mindful of my precious time and not wasting it away on social media or whatever I choose to do. I'm watching a lot of curling this week, but I don't think it's a wasted time.
We need diversions that are that are in line with us. I agree. Keep going.
So, but yeah, making sure that we are using it for a really good reason and intention and purpose. Otherwise, it can be used as a weapon. We have to be mindful of that. I'm very aware even of my own capabilities. I can use it for, a good intention, and I can actually use it in a mean-spirited way, which is never my intention, but I can see how it can manifest if I'm not mindful.
Sorry, what are you saying you can bring in a mean way?
My what I bring to the table, my gifts, we talk about opening up and closing down, like making sure I'm using it for what my intention is and the intended purpose of what I bring to contribute to others and myself and the world. There's a dark side of things, right? And no matter how you think, well,
share your dark side, Karen. Give me an example of when your dark side comes up.
My dark side comes up. Oh well,
Darth Vader.
Oh. I think obviously when I feel I have an opinion or a way of doing things, and I'm very attached to it because I feel it's super important to get the result or the outcome I want, and I truly believe it's for everyone. I have been caught personally by others and myself seeing, was that really for that reason? Or was there a hidden selfish reason I had to do that? Or a past coping strategy that made me feel safe and not vulnerable? I catch myself sometimes afterwards. So it still rears its head, Ian.
Yeah.
So connection to me is important in that where I see the value in doing something together with others versus starting with AI, thinking that I want to get there quickly. It's a tool. Maybe that if you could see it as something that you would pull out when it truly is going to have the impact that you're trying to create without compromising the socialization of human beings and just what we get when we collaborate and think and use our collective wisdom together. That's so important. That builds community and connection. That's what we were talking about today, is connection. And we know that that is an issue and concern right now, is connection, like the real, fun and play and being together connection, not, texting each other and using like that's a one way of connecting, but that's just that being in commune together physically, spiritually, socially, relationally together. And that's what the space we create in coaching is to create a space where that is present. And by asking open-ended questions, seeing what emerges out inside of that other person. It's all in there.
Yeah.
It's unleashing and unlocking that.
I think people have maybe lost the trust that they've got it inside. And I'm guilty of that too. I did it this week. And it's probably the deepest I've ever dove into AI to help me solve a problem. But it was able to give me a sliver of hope, which was interesting. And I wasn't expecting that, because I felt like I dug myself into a situation that I can't get out of. Like there's no win-win. There's no win in this situation. However, I've used it as a tool to help me get unstuck so that now I can have the conversations I need to have, because they have to happen. I can't not have those conversations, but at least it opened me up to something that I didn't see. And maybe I would have found it in a conversation with somebody else, but I think I needed advice in this situation. Like we talk often about, when we're having conversations, not every conversation is a coaching conversation, right? There are times where you're seeking advice, wanting advice, need to be taught, need information, whatever. So knowing what it is that you need and asking for that, and then maybe being pointed in a direction of somebody who's got expertise there. I didn't feel like I had that ability this week, so I used it. But it's opened me up to new possibility. I won't be using it for anything else there now. Now I know who I need to talk to, why I need to talk to them. Like it's opened me up to something more. So I think if we can figure out what that balance is between using something as a tool, creating boundaries around how you use the tool so that you can then operate in this environment that's not going away. And it's only going to get probably more severe, so that you can have those connection moments, so you can build that trust with people that you need to build trust with on whatever the topic is. But if you ignore that side, it will atrophy. It will not grow.
I love the way you described that, because it's almost like it's a springboard to somewhere, right? I just needed to go and, absorb something to discern what I needed. So it's like reading a book. Mm-hmm. I need to read that book. I needed to go and just ask and just have a chance to be in this and get some information. There's a word. And choose then my right way forward. I love the idea of boundaries, because again, I think what we have not done a good job of is creating boundaries around all this wonderful technology and information and accessibility that we have. And we've seen addictions grow, right? Because of that, the addictions to social media, addictions to video games, addiction. Yep. I mean, I have to put my phone somewhere to stay away from it. I put it away. I send it to another room. I create a boundary to, make sure that I don't let it take me over. Just, how quickly you can look at the hours that you've had on your phone. And I'm not even into a lot of social media. So yeah, it's the boundary setting and the using it. So this having really important conversations with yourself and others on how do we use this thing to support us, and getting curious about how do you take care of that so it doesn't, start to be, you become dependent and reliant on it to make you feel like you're doing the right thing. Because you have something that you talk about, and I have it, we all have it, but the gut instinct, you have to let that sit and be able to trust that rather than, relying on something else to feel confident in that trust. So I loved how you described why you chose it and how it served you. I think these conversations are important to have together as AI will continue to be in our lives and be in our workplaces and, shape our futures of ourselves and of our children, of our workplaces. Yeah.
Cool. I like that. Boundaries. It's a tool. It's not your life. It's artificial for a reason. It's in the title.
I know.
They've shortened it down to AI so that it's catchy, right? But it's artificial. There's no soul in it. So, yeah, put it down. Put it down. Use it as a tool. Set yourself a boundary, and then try to use it for good as best you can to help maybe springboard you into a conversation you need to have with the people you need to have them with. Final thought, Karen?
Maybe I'll check out AI a little more just so I can be able to see how it can serve me. I'm curious.
There is an opening up as much as there is a closing down. So, cool. All right. Well, take care, everybody. We'll be back next week with another topic. Take care, everybody.
Great day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.